Okay, folks. I got this 044 cylinder in the mail today. This guy on eBay was selling like a bundle of parts, cylinder, and some other accessories, covers, and whatnot. And I messaged the guy and said, "Hey, I'm interested in the cylinder. Um, would you be interested in, just selling me the cylinder?" And he messaged me back and said, "Yeah, $40." So I jumped on that. Here it is. It's not a KNS or a Molly, or it looks like it's a steel cylinder. It says 11/28/8 steel, which I believe is like the 044, 440, 040, 046, 460. And then you have a 327/6, and then on the top you have an A stamped in there. So that may designate the cylinder. But this will be a good candidate for a beheading here. We can cut this off and then machine it on the lathe to the dimension I want it. And then I can get a chunk of aluminum and machine it down to the size I want. And make some replaceable domes. In other words, just get a basic squish band and have something, an insert where I could screw it in, where I could change different domes. In other words, instead of making a cylinder head and saying, you have a way of changing things. You just have to make that little part with the thread on it and screw it in. And now you got a design like this, or you got a top hat design, or whatever. So it's flexible. Now, the only problem I have right now is I don't have a milling machine. And what I want to do is, when I cut the head off and get it to the dimension that I want, you don't want to go down too far, because it's not going to work out for you. So I'm going to bandsaw it way away, and then I'll machine it down. I'll have the dimensions measured to within a thousandths, hopefully, or better. And then, hey, Midnight, what are you doing? Then I'll take that head, I'll make 3 domes, and I'll use the largest CC dome first, which is going to give me the lowest compression. Okay? And the reason why I need a milling machine is because I want to take that and machine with a small ball end mill. The end mill will be stationary. You'll be on a rotary table. You got it set it up, the distance and everything, and you're going to turn this rotary table all the way around, and it's just going to cut a groove in there, the size of that end mill, and then you can take that head, screw in that piece, and now put an O-ring there, and that O-ring will seal. And the reason why I want to use an O-ring is not because, it's a better seal or what. The only reason I want to use the O-ring is, number one, it's definitely good. It's just as good as a gasket, if not better. But I can take it off. You know what I'm saying? I can remove the head and put that O-ring back on and tighten it down, and it's good to go. I could take it off a lot of times before, eventually maybe you got to replace the O-ring. I don't know, 50 times. But the O-ring's not going to cost you that much money, and it'll be more flexible than using a gasket. Use a gasket, and let's say I miscalculated somewhere, and even with the least compression dome, it's too much. Taking it off, putting it on, taking it off, putting it on. It'll be better using an O-ring. But I'd just like to say thanks to his name here? Maddie. Maddie out in Pulteney, Vermont. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. For $40, this would be a good project. I mean, it's cold here in Western New York. I got my wood burner cranking, and you know, it's about 63 degrees in here. We got about a 25 mile an hour wind, and it's probably about 16 degrees outside. So you know, you do the math. It's cold. I mean, sometimes it gets so cold up here. You go out there and you shovel the driveway. You have you're all suited up with your long johns and layers of clothes, and still it's just that wind. It's just bitter, and you're only gonna last 5-10 minutes out there. So now's the time to monkey around with saws. You know, I'm not gonna be out there cutting wood now. It's just too darn cold. It's not fit for man or beast.